Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Challenger Mode Sunday Brawl Triple X special. After these finals, we are going to be partnering up with Roccat to be giving away to one lucky player and one lucky viewer a bit of Roccat swag, so you guys are interested in that. Then make sure you stick around till the end of these games, which have been fantastic so far. Currently 1-0 in this series, over to the Taxman, who've come up in this game a bit unexpected, really, and taken down the Devious Gaming Lords, the Challenger Mode Gatekeepers, here in the finals. And I don't think you were expecting it, Daniel, were you?
No, I wasn't. And I kind of, honestly, part of me feels a little bit guilty for even sort of thinking about it. But I mean, Devious, who we've known for a long time, and they're an incredibly skilled team. I kind of thought that it would be a good game, but I thought Devious would win. But actually, I mean, the Taxmen have shown up, and they were massive. They were absolutely massive in that game, and they really turned it on. And yeah, I mean, I think Devious. I think they're going to be firstly a little bit shocked, and I think secondly they need to really look at their playbook and dig deeper, because I mean it just did not work in the slightest in that last game, and they need to completely come up with an entirely different idea for this next game. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, and they've definitely got it in them to pull this back. It's just it's just going to need a little bit more work. So we'll have to see how it goes. Let's just make sure the guys are ready when we try and get into Champ Select.
For sure, but talk to me about the previous game. What went wrong, really, for Devious, and what do you think they need to change up in this next one?
Champ Select, I don't think they did particularly great in. And just, if you're going to pick an early game jungler like Lee Sin, you need to make sure that you have impacts in the early game, and they just didn't. They just didn't have. I mean, Sweets, who's usually like one of the most influential junglers that we know of, you just didn't really have any great impact in that game in the slightest. And so it meant that, Flashy was able to get ahead, and he snowballed that advantage massively with help from their jungler. In the mid lane, the Zilean went relatively even with the Aurelion Sol, but was winning the trades, because as soon as they got the double bomb situation up, he was able to win out there. And the bot lane, the bot lane went even, but it didn't matter, because by the time that it got to the late game where Flashy and the Zilean were able to, stun up and put down this huge amount of CC, Jampow was just picking up kills left, right, and center, because he was able to go even, because from miles away he was just picking up kills, and they just did super well. Look at this ban phase, though. I mean, they've been absolutely shell-shocked by that last game. And, Devious's bans, says it all, really. Zilean off the table, Gnar off the table, Soraka off the table. So we're going to have to see the support from Taxman come up with something new. We're going to have to see a different plan for both the top lane and the mid lane. But, Flashy's got several more champions in the pool, and I'm sure he'll pull something out deep. Meanwhile, we see Sweets lock in this Rek'Sai, strong jungler, top tier jungler, and I think it is this kind of position that he needs to get himself into, something where he has got a jungler that he can influence the game on, not just at the start but throughout.
Yeah, well, Rek'Sai is the champion for it. She's always been very good at influencing the jungle. You can dive into the enemy's jungle with your tremor sense and really just seek out enemies, set up the vision, and wow.
Oh, wow.
Red 2 just reaches deep into his pool, and he goes, you know what, game 1 it was the Olaf man, and game 2 it was...
what did you play in the last game?
I've actually just brain farted all over this game. What was it? It was the Rek'Sai, wasn't it?
Yeah, he played Rek'Sai, didn't he?
And now, in game 3, Sejuani for himself. And we are going to see Echo locked in for Flashy once more.
Yeah. Sejuani, wow, I mean, I honestly, this part of me is like a little bit mind blown, but that's cool. I mean, Sejuani is pretty amazing anyway. I hope he plays like a good Sejuani, not like you know, a CLG Sejuani.
No, well, we'll have to see. Danbarge is going to go back towards the Lucian for himself. Says, I need to go back to my old faithful, and locks that one in. And we're going to see the Shen locked in for Stockholm. Again, Shen, bit of a hard matchup against the Echo. And Fashi obviously showed that he is very proficient in a Echo Shen matchup. So, bit of question marks, of course, after Stockholm's previous performance.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, so Stockholm's come into this Devious team and is replacing Prillish, who was a long-time player with the guys. And Prillish is a decent player, like really, really reliable top laner. And I get the impression that Stockholm's more of a carry top laner. So, I mean, hence my minor surprise to see this Shen locked in. I thought he would go with something which was a bit more proactive as opposed to reactive. But we do get something exciting from the other side of the coin, though. And we said, Kalamato obviously just had such a phenomenal game on that Azilian. What's he going to use now? And out comes the Talia. Or Talia. How do you pronounce it?
Talia.
It's all right. Because there seems to be conflict between EU LCS and NA LCS. We've got Talia in EU and Talia over in the States. So I'm never even sure what it is anymore.
So we are going to see a bit of a placeholder pick here. I'm not sure who is actually going to be doing the placeholder.
All right.
Is what I'm hearing from the enemy guys. So unless they've decided not to do it, I've told them that since they don't have the enemy team and since it's the last pick for blue side, they can just lock in anything as the placeholder and then exit lobby immediately. Did you placeholder? Okay, so they decided not to in the end. So that is going to be a Lissandra Karma locked in. The idea of a placeholder for you guys who are at home and maybe a bit confused to what I'm talking about, it's because we asked the players to order themselves in top, jungle, mid, AD carry, support order. Sometimes not everyone has all champions in the game, so what we allow them to do is create a placeholder pick. Usually they pick a champion that would never be picked, like Yorick or Teemo or Fiddlesticks or Heimerdinger or something like that, and they lock it in and they tell the enemy Heimerdinger is in fact Lissandra. And then we exit the lobby, we remake and go for the champ pick with the actual champion, the Lissandra, being picked for whichever position it was meant to be, but not necessary for this game. We won't have to go about it. Of course, you need to have communication with the enemy team, but we could have cheated it a little bit, as it was the last pick for blue side. You pick in the placeholder, exit to lobby, and say, actually, that wasn't meant to be this, it was meant to be that, rather. And then you remake the lobby. So, definitely ways you could have got about it in that instance. But we are going to see compositions rounded out. Shen, Rek'Sai, Lissandra, Lucian, and Karma for Devious Gaming, and Echo, Sejuani, Talia, Ezreal, and Janna for the Taxman eSports.
So my initial impressions is this looks like a Devious lineup. Do you know what I mean? Like, good, solid jungler on suits, happy days. Lissandra for Bambi, happy days. Danby on Lucian, happy days. Nice support, for Yankel. I'll be honest with you, Yankel's kind of shown me over the years that he can play, most things. But, I mean, he's picked Karma, so he instantly gets the thumbs up from my book. Good, solid, tanky support. And I don't know if this is Stockholm's play style. I mean, based on what I've seen from him initially, I do get the impression he likes to carry. But he's playing the champion that the people need, to quote a certain movie. On the other side, I mean, it's quite a quirky one in some respects. I mean, Echo, we've already seen Flashy into a Shen on Echo. He's going to be happy there. Sejuani, mind blown. But Sejuani can be so massive in these games. And, we talked about stuns and CC in the last game. And actually, a really good Sejuani ultimate is like, team fight over. Talia... Do you know? I don't think I've seen Talia into Lissandra at all. So I'm trying to think how I imagine that matchup goes.
You've got 2 control mages. And I think Lissandra probably loses out due to the fact that Talia is quite mobile when she gets that turned ground going. Or worked ground going, is able to lay down a lot of damage from afar, doesn't need to go up close to the fights, so Talia can play quite far back in the lane, and I would imagine that Lissandra may struggle with that, will have to really force fights, and that's where Suits comes in.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be interesting, but the thing is Suits and Bambi have got such a great jungle sort of interaction. Bot lane, Ezjana, I like Ezjana, I think Ezjana works out alright. It's quite interesting, these 2 respective bot lanes, actually. You've got these kind of... they're quite similar in terms of their sort of lane setups, except that obviously well, I mean, there are some differences, obviously, but I think it's quite an interesting one. But I think this is going to be a cool game nonetheless. For me, once again, the side of Devious is going to be this interaction between Seats and Bambi and what they can do in the mid lane. Concurrently, I think the opposite is going to be, how this Sejuani and this Echo in the top lane are able to do in terms of defeating Stockholm. I mean, they showed in the last game that they just completely wiped Stockholm off of the map. I mean, it was almost 4v5 in the whole scheme of things, because Stockholm was pretty much non-existent in that last game. And if they're able to do the same thing again and just completely repeatedly knock back this Shen, to the extent that even when he is ultimating somebody, when he arrives, he's more of a liability than a use. I mean, maybe they can sort of parallel and sort of drive it through there. But we will have to see as we head on to the Rift for this game 2 of the Sunday Brawl Triple X. Definitely didn't do the arm movement. The Sunday Brawl Triple X Brawl. Taxman leading 1-0. And we will have to see, can Devious take it to game 2, to game 3 or not?
It's definitely the question for us today. Devious Gaming, for once being challenged in a long time, Daniel.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you remember rightly, going back to the really early days, and we're literally talking like Sunday Brawl 5, yeah, that sort of period of time, guys, long time ago. I mean, back in sort of Sunday Brawl 5, that kind of period of time, Devious Gaming, under their previous name, were like really prolific, incredibly prolific. This lineup, or the majority of this lineup, have in total, in fact, let me check, I'll be able to tell you. In fact, they have won 6. They have won 6 Sunday Brawls out of the 30 that we've done. 1/5 of Sunday Brawls have been won by the bulk of this lineup. Which is, insanely prolific. And they strung together, I think it was like 3 brawls on the trot. And I remember the first time that they had a real challenge on their hands, and the sort of the head scratching and the question marks, and I had people coming to me after the game saying, "Oh, what did we do wrong? How can we improve?" But they've been away. They've made the adjustments to the lineups. They've, clearly expanded champion pools a great deal. But I mean, they've come back here confident, wanting to represent this new team that they've signed to, Devious, with aplomb and decency. And they ran into another team that's put a real head scratch on them, a real team that's, and making them question themselves and returning to a lineup, this sort of Shen, Rek'Sai, Lissandra Lucian summarizes it
Daniel,
best for me.
Double
Go
duck.
on.
It's a double duck.
A double
duck in the river.
Oh, really? I missed that.
It's still there. Do you know where to look for the double duck?
Oh, man. I'm lost.
Daniel doesn't know about the double duck, guys. Every now and again we get blessed by a presence of a duck on the river.
Oh, yeah, man.
Today we get double duck. This never happens.
That's crazy.
This is the most exciting thing of this series, Daniel.
Oh, man. I said I wouldn't touch my mouse.
You have to. This is important.
Yeah.
Oh, there they go.
Oh, they're gone.
Sad times. So, back into this game.
Yeah. We're not easily amused. So, junglers starting on opposite sides. Important stuff. I'm trying to see if there's anything else exciting.
Sounded like you died there, Daniel. I was
I was going to say I was just trying to come up with something interesting and viable to talk about, but I was actually really struggling. The junglers are started on opposite sides. Starting items are exactly as expected. Yeah. I mean at the moment, we're being directed to sit and watch these like glorious bot lane plays, but in all honesty, it's the mid lane that I'm actually most interested in watching.
The Talia versus Alessandra. It is an interesting matchup, and you can see like the damage that Cal Miato is able to put down to begin with. Every time that Q comes available, it's quite a low mana cost, and you can use it quite often. So, lots of poke available for the Talia.
Yeah, I mean, volley, isn't it? Threaded volley. Yeah, I mean, the threaded volley is like it's a monster ability in terms of how it sets up. Oh wow!
Lots of damage put out, and Bambi already experiencing a lot of hurt as threaded volley goes out. And look at Suits already making his way to the mid lane and says, "All right, well, let's see if we can't get you back into this one, Bambi." He could engage as well. They're going to try and lock him up. There's the sun. The CC comes through. There's a cleanse, but it's not enough. First blood over to Suits.
And that was important. I was actually about to say that I thought Bambi needed to be really careful because for real, okay, the Talia was feasible of turning that back around, but they timed the engage really, really nicely, and they managed to get that down. So that's good. So I'm going to be curious. It's going to be curious for me to see whether he's able to do the same sort of things on this Karma that he is.
Another gank in the mid lane, and I think this time this Talia is well and truly donezo. Suits trying to get away from this one as they're trying to just trade the kill back and forth. But Suits does make the wise move to back away and just leave it to Bambi to take. And look at the presence already onto this mid lane matchup. We said it in Champ Select that Suits and Bambi, they've got this great relationship, the jungle mid relationship, that they've used it to their advantage for quite some time in the Challenger Mode Sunday Brawls. Well, when it means the most down a game in this series, all of a sudden, pulling out the big guns.
Yeah, I mean their sort of relationship, and just like how long they've been playing together is a sign of a good sort of matchup, and they really are a great duo together. I mean the flip side is that obviously Sejuani wants to try and farm as quickly as she can up to 6, and then start putting her influence around the map. But I think the lane that she needs to be visiting is going to either be this mid lane to get Kalimato back on track, or he needs to go and visit this top lane and just basically, monster Flashy into something huge. Because, we saw Flashy earlier on this Echo, and he was massive, and, there's absolutely no reason why he couldn't essentially do exactly the same thing again. He carried the last game hard. He carried his earlier match hard. Well read from Stockholm there.
I think that's it. We're going to see a gank in the bot lane as Kalamato trying to make things happen, but without that water ride makes things slightly harder, and now he's just losing a lot of presence in the mid lane as has to go back. Won't lose any farm, I don't think, at all. Maybe a little bit to this turret, in fact. Bambi able to push the waves quite quickly. Maybe actually going very deep here, under the turret as well. Frozen Tomb to secure some health back, and it could have been very, very dangerous if Retu was level 6.
Yeah,
came around and hit that AA.
Luckily, it's exactly that, isn't it? If they managed to get away scot-free there, and it was pretty important. But I think the premise is, oh, all right, brilliant, Sweets is coming, let's engage this. If I slow him down and do this, then it'll be perfect, and Sweets will arrive just in time. But just as the engage started, it was where Ratatouille? How did we say it again? Sejuani just happened to be there, and it was like, oh yeah, crap, maybe now wasn't a good time. And actually, the person who was glad that they were level 6 was Bambi, being able to ult themselves out of trouble.
Have to see where the next piece of aggression comes from. Of course, this double kill already for Bambi. Suits just doing his work on the rec side, making his way around town.
So both AD carries have gone. Yeah, both AD carries have gone and picked up this call. We talked long and hard about Cole before, but in this instance, where they've both gone for the Cole item, I suppose it works out relatively evenly insofar as the fact that I suppose neither is trying to come back from behind. But wow,
this is a lot of damage onto Jampa. In fact, they're going to turn their attentions now onto this Janna. Not quite coordinated in their course though, and here comes that toss from Retu to lock up Jankul, and now Jankul is going to be in a bit of a hard stop bother, but gets that speed up, the mantra, and here comes Bambi trying to turn things around. I think they might be able to get this one as well. Yeah, Retu, now they can put the Frozen Tomb onto someone as well. Who they're going to go for with this? Looking for the Janna, and they get it as well. A double kill goes over as he flashes forward, takes out Jumper as well, and now Flashy laying down a bit of dominance in the lane. A pause comes out, was Suits to pause it, so we will see where we go from here.
Wow, Cray, super heavy engage. But I mean, Yankel uses absolutely. They're having some communications problems. So they're just sorting out their voice comms. I won't tell you the exact terminology, but yeah, their voice comms wasn't quite working. But yeah, no, Yankel used absolutely everything in the barrel to get out of that, wasn't it? Summon a heal, shield, keep the head down low and cry. It's all pretty good.
I'm loving the the story here. Apparently, everyone in the Team Who Speaks server, about 100 people, just got put into one channel at the same time. That could have been chaos. I can imagine your headphones just bursting as it happens.
Yeah, I like the. I would best describe their way of explaining the voice comms issue would be how an English plumber would describe your plumbing if you called a plumber up. Insofar as the fact that it was, yeah.
Fighting the top lane, Flashy and Stockholm going at each other, and it looks like Stockholm might be the one to take it. No, the minion wave does so much damage in an auto attack as well. Now we're gonna see what else happens.
I don't know. He doesn't need to be I like on this Shen. He doesn't need to win 1v1s. I mean, this is what I mean by, I was talking about Stockholm. You can tell that he's kind of one of these people that wants to be a carry champion. He's going in for the big fights and things like that. But I kind of feel as though he needs to recognize that his job isn't to 1v1 Flashy and be all sort of wow and cray on this champion. Bambi's in trouble here.
Yeah, he's going to have to use that Proto Bell to try and get to safety. Taking a lot of damage, and the Stand United will be used by Stockholm to make sure that the mid laner of Devious doesn't fall. 2-0 and 3 currently. 5-1 is the scoreline. About a 3k gold lead for Devious Gaming as well, as they looking to try and push further down this game. And as you say, Stockholm is kind of the odd one out for the Devious squad. As you say, he seems to want to carry the game quite hard, and he's constantly had his Irelia banned against him as well, which makes things even harder for the chap. But Shen doesn't need to make these big flashy plays. He wins lane by staying in lane, and that's where Stockholm needs to be focusing his efforts.
Yeah, it's exactly that, because I mean, Shen's such a monster, because of the influence. Oh,
secures that one, and I'm not sure they can really follow it up too much. In fact, they're going to try, but Suit says, I'm on in, and Stockholm going to TP as well. Flashy's made his way down, and Bambi in a bit of trouble. Gets a shield, gets a heal, and Flashy going to go down as Stockholm secures that one. The wall goes out, but all it does is just confirm that Devious will be exiting the exiting the
exit stage left, I think is what you're looking for. Yeah, there was actually some. I mean, we talked about the team play of Devious and what they do well, and we just saw Devious of old exactly in that play. Great rotation, good movement as a team to secure kills and then pick up objectives. It's exactly what Taxman did to them in the last game. So you know this is what working as intended, I think, is you know, one of the ways that, you know, it sometimes likes to be referred to. But I mean, they did perfect there, absolutely perfect. Good movement, good use of CC laid down, and yeah. As we hear the call out from Rek'Sai in the background, she's making her way back in, and actually runs over to the blue side of the jungle, just as Sejuani was on the way out. You know, obviously dropping in to see what was going on.
So this game quite chaotic already for these guys. It's dealing with some interesting stuff in the chat, Daniel, if you'd like to just take away.
What interesting stuff in chat? Twitch chat. Okie doke. Yeah, sorry. Right. Yeah. I mean, in terms of what's been going on here, I guess is what you mean. We see a big engage coming through from Bambi. They've got the ultimate out of the Lissandra, and fundamentally she's just been absolutely blowed up. Stockholm channels the ultimate from the Shen to keep the tower dive up, and that's Kalimato completely destroyed again. And this is what we were talking about earlier, realistically, in Champ Select. You know, the Sweets Bambi, you know, the duo of those two. And great teams are often defined by how, you know, junglers interact and interface with people. If you think about, you know, the Fnatic squad, or what is now Immortals, one of the reasons that they did so well, you know, last season, it was this relationship between Funi and Rainover, this jungle solo lane relationship. And I think one of the reasons that, you know, this Devious squad does so fantastically is because Suits and Bambi play so well into each other. Similarly, Dambi and Yanko, they're a good lane. They understand each other. They've played enough games together with each other that they understand the nature of this bot lane play. And in some respects, you know, Prillish, as was Stockholm, how it is now, you know, they're this solitary guy in the top lane that influences the game in different ways. But I mean, when Devious are playing at their best, it's when Sweets and Bambi are dancing around each other, getting kills and taking objectives. And that's what we've seen so far in this game. Poor Kalimato, 0-3-0 at the moment, down in CS. And essentially kind of freaked out and scared, because every single time he gets to lane, there seems to be someone. But here comes the Talia and using the ultimate, and they got the 3v2 just here.
It's going to be turned around though. Teleport from Bambi. The Frozen Tomb though on themselves. Not really with a main target, but a Proto Belt, and the wall goes out. They will secure one at least. Coming from Dambarge, but he's gone too deep. Oh wow, slides away and gets away in the end. And Retu tries to come in, but now he's in trouble. The stun comes through the knock-up as well. Going to try and get onto Dambarge, who takes a true shot barrage, and the turret shot as well. Poor Dambarge did so much, but gets shut down in the end. But in the end, it is a 4-for-1, and Devious once more securing their dominance.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. Is everything sorted out? Do you need me to do anything?
Nope.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, all in all, you know, some pretty phenomenal play. Great team play.
Now, Jumper in trouble as well.
Yeah.
Stop him trying to make the pain rain down.
And see, that is a fight that Stockholm's comfortable to go into. You know, he's got the armor built up. He's comfortable sort of with that play. But I mean, sometimes when it's against this, when it's against Flashy, he doesn't need to do it. Sweets might be in trouble here, though.
He's big tank.
Or maybe...
doesn't need no Shen in his life. In fact, he could have just got away without any Stand United. But this looks like the fight is going to be attempted to be engaged here by the Taxman as Flashy jumps in indeed, but taking a lot of damage from everyone really as Flashy dives into Bambi, but he gets locked up. A beautiful Chrono Break gets him out alive, but how are they going to get away with their lives as Dambarge comes in? That's one, that's two, he's looking for a third as the flash from the Talia over the wall to try and escape, and Jumper to try and help on out as well, but still not out of this one just yet, and looks like he will fall down. Suits finds the kill, and how's Jumper going to get out as well? The Proto Belt comes through, a Frozen Tomb onto the Israel, and a double kill goes over to Suits. And can you say Devious, Daniel?
Devious?
Can you say gaming, Daniel?
I can say gaming.
Devious gaming, Daniel.
I'll be honest with you, man. I can pretty much say everything. I've just about grasped the English language, what with living here for a while. How are you coping with it, Ozzy?
Mate, I don't know. You know, just another shrimp from the Barbie, innit?
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, Devious seem to have remembered what it is that they need to do in this game, that's for sure. And the curious thing with that last fight, is we see Yankel
called out, but not dead yet.
No.
In fact,
shield
just going to walk away.
Yeah, I'm just...
Dambarge, and can Flashy really secure this one against the Lucian God? No, he can't.
Oh my god. Alright.
It's going to be a double kill now for Dambarge. Retu going to go low. There's the double kill. Dambarge says, hello, 816, easy peasy. And no wonder it was banned away from him in the previous game.
Yeah, it says it all really, doesn't it? I mean, we talked about how, you know, strong he is on this champion, but I can't believe Yankel managed to make it out of that, can you? It's almost like a bit sick. But yeah,
in the earlier stages of the game, your support's there to babysit the AD carry, but as the game goes on, Daniel, suddenly that relationship flips on its side, and the AD carry will babysit the support.
Yeah, and yeah, Dambarge definitely took on the role of Mr. Grey there, supporting Yankel in every respect from the punishment that was being put out. But yeah, no, Devious seem to have this one in the bag, I think it's fair to say. 11k lead, 18 minutes in. They've got the only dragon of the game. They've completely taken out the outer turrets so that they've got complete control of vision of this river. And I mean, in the last game we talked about late game compositions, and yes, they've got the Ezreal that's going to grow late, but unfortunately this time Devious have got a team that can actually sort of, you know, go with the best of them and do exactly what they need to.
We have
Bambi,
to make sure they don't bite off more than they can chew.
And that was being a little bit cocky there.
Just a little bit.
Well and
true.
true.
To try and steal away this blue buff, but I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, it goes over to the Sejuani, and another Stand United used by Stockholm to pull him down to the bot side of the map, which, again, feels like Stockholm has a bit of a happy trigger finger when it comes to using that ultimate, completely unnecessary, and now the fight's going to be started in here, and Suits is in trouble. It's a 3 versus 5, and there's power conversion. A beautiful Frozen Tomb in the middle of the fight, but it is going to be Suits who picks up the first kill. Oh wow, Dambarge has shown up and he's just going to turn things around. 3 kills go over to Devious, and the 4th will be in Retu, and just that Talia left alive. Has to be careful not to get into the hard spot as this inner turret going to fall once more. Devious going to be picking this one up, and they are truly making this a series here. Suits, he's alright. He's fine, easy. Maybe the wall might snipe him. Oh, Janko, what did... Oh, okay, they surrendered.
Oh, they go. Okay. It was like, yeah, do you know what? Let's do this again. All right, that was a fairly they were literally waiting for 20 minutes there, you can tell. But to be fair, sometimes it is better to cut your losses. You know, don't, you know, play your a sort of a pit of despair. Cut your losses. All right, guys, we lost that one, but we absolutely pawned them in game one. Let's reconfigure. Let's get our mindsets back together. Let's ban Lucian and let's play them again in game three. Guys, that was game two. A huge comeback victory for Devious. They did it super strong. And in fact, they did it super strong across the board. I mean, everybody, did well in that last game. We're going to be back for the third game, the third installment of this, the 30th Sunday Brawl Triple X. Stick with us. We'll have the last game coming up. Afterwards, we are going to do the giveaway. One lucky player who has taken part in the tournament will be receiving a present from our sponsors, Roccat. And then one lucky viewer will also be getting something from our amazing sponsors, Roccat, here on the Challenger Mode Sunday Brawl Triple X. Thanks very much for sticking with us, and we'll see you in, what do you reckon, 8 minutes?
5 minutes, man.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. We'll see you in 5 minutes for part 3.